What's up, folks? Maximilian here, and welcome back to another weapon breakdown with Black Ops 2, and we're going to be taking a look at the M27. Previous guns we have done videos for include the MTAR and the MSMC, and going into a bit about attachments, and the way I do weapon breakdowns is based off experience and the attachments and preferred playstyles of what I think actually go best with the weapon. So let's get quickly into the stats of the M27 before we start off to my my personal playstyle and why I think this gun, or what I think this gun can be used for in the best of situations. So the M27, generally from a close range distance, is going to do about 33 points of damage from closest range and about 22 from minimum damage at long range. That means that the M27, no matter what, depending on whatever distance you at or how close you get, unless you're hitting people in the head, you're doing 33 points of damage, and that is still 4 points or 4 shots to kill. When it comes to minimum damage, it does 22. That means it's going to take you about 5 bullets to kill somebody. This is actually quite a bit. What's nice is that the jump between close range distance, close range deaths to long range deaths are the fact that you just have one extra bullet, which isn't bad. Because the M27, when it comes to the majority of the other assault rifles in this game, tends to kick the least of any of them. There's this odd conversation that you can have about weapons that visually kick and how spattered the fire actually is, but the M27 doesn't kick very much, and the gunfire itself actually doesn't spatter very much either, so most of the shots that you put up with the gun, even from a long range, are going to do fairly good damage. Because the difference is only one bullet, it makes the silencer kind of preferred. Now, if you guys know me, a lot of the times if you're going for higher end kill streaks or you plan on staying alive generally longer, silencers are the way to go. Silencers keep you alive longer, they keep you off the minimap. It doesn't really matter if you're running Ghost or not, but it's just one of those things that definitely you find yourself using in the long run. Like a lot of weapons, I end up going the most to the guns that actually work the best with silencers, because you just find that your performance works the most with those guns. Now, when it comes to certain other aspects, since the concentrated fire is kind of similar to some previous weapons, it's not as good as like the ACR from Modern Warfare 3 or the ACR laser gun from Modern Warfare 2. It's not quote-unquote a laser, but it is the equivalent in this game. Now, to use it in certain situations, this means that it's probably the best between a short range to a long range. A short range to like a medium range. I actually don't like this weapon from super long range too much, but if you keep on your target, it can still work out. 5 bullets to put a guy down does take quite a while sometimes, but in some situations, because of that distance gap, I think a silencer still kind of works. So, in my recommendation, I would use a silencer on this gun. In this situation here, I had not used the target finder much, but when I actually go through a lot of weapons, I try to see what just works out. The target finder isn't that bad on this gun because it holds its fire within the reticle fairly well. I don't recommend the target finder though. You have to play a very specific playstyle with the target finder, and that's the long range playstyle. And I don't find that to be super effective with the M27. I think the M27 is good without reticles. You do not need a red dot sight. You don't need an ACOG sight. Sure, it helps if you're used to it, but I find the iron sights on this gun to be one of the best of all the assault rifles. So I don't think that's exactly necessary. I think other things like fast mags are actually pretty good for this weapon. The reason being is that it spits out bullets fairly fast. It's not the fastest shooting gun by any means, but it does do a fairly good job of putting people down, even from close range. To give you a quick example, its RPM is 720, making it similar to the TAR, and that weapon gets a lot of comparisons to the M27, because I felt like the TAR and the M27 were almost like the exact same gun in a lot of regards, because they had this similar fire rate, they had similar bullets to kill in some situations, so it's one of those things where you just gotta figure out what you want out of your weapon, and because this weapon can put out a lot of ammunition kind of fast with its 30 round magazine, I think fast mags can be pretty good. Silencer, absolutely. You'll find me defaulting to silencer for a lot of weapons, but sometimes not. Usually the target finder is preferred on things like LMGs, which is kind of a noob tactic. I don't really like the target finder very much. It kind of takes away a little bit of this skill that you've developed in Call of Duty over, the past 4 games that we've been playing, picking out the targets immediately and focusing on that target while the game kind of just does it for you. The way it kind of bugs me. It kind of simplifies it to the point of which that's very easy, but if you have difficulty doing that, by all means use it. I kind of think something else more valuable like fast mags or even extended mag can be used to fill that slot a little bit better. Overall, the M27 is a fairly decent assault rifle. It's not one of the better ones, I think. This is the equivalent of the carbine from previous Call of Duties, and I think that it kind of fits in the same category as previous Call of Duties. Like in Call of Duty 4, the carbine wasn't that fantastic. It lost to some other guns, maybe around like the G36 or AK-47, stuff like that. And in Modern Warfare 2, it was kind of like my fun weapon. The carbines always looked really cool, which is why I like using it the most. And it's kind of the same in this game, even though it's got a different name. So what do you guys think about the M27? Do you think it's a really good assault rifle, or do you think it gets trumped by a lot of the other burst fire guns, or even the later AN-94, AK-47 equivalents? I'll do a breakdown of that later when I actually have the gun fully unlocked, because I'm still prestiging. And that'll just about do it. So for you guys that have been following my Black Ops 2 videos, I'd like to get your support and feedback, because over the past few weeks there hasn't been many Black Ops 2 vids, and if you actually really enjoy this stuff, enjoy me doing breakdowns or good game breakdowns or anything like that, please let me know. A lot of my motivation to keep playing Black Ops 2 is kind of waning, because Treyarch just refuses to patch the game as far as like the matchmaking and the netcode, and I've made videos about that before. I don't want to talk about that stuff very often. I like focusing on the game, and if you guys want to see more gameplay out of this, I'll definitely put some more time into it and get some good matches and show you exactly what you can be doing to battle that stuff and to use certain weapons in an online environment. But until next time, thank you all very much for watching. My name is Max, signing out.
That guy was 68.